That's great. Oh, I think I see all my fans, all my peeps. It's so nice to see all of you out there.
Good
Debbie,
morning.
Lindsay, Jennifer, Todd. Who else am I missing? We're still looking for Tasha? Is she around someplace? There she is. Awesome. So I am so excited to share with you the power of Engage and the event that we all attended in Los Angeles for Global Luxury. And this is really, truly, we're missing a few partners from our team, but I would say these are the people that stepped out, made the commitment, and decided to join in and change their lives. And I will say, I definitely feel the engagement and the connection to the bigger world beyond my office, your offices, and our team. It has been a whirlwind kind of flurry of inbox emails that I've received coming out of this event, with 550 agents that came together from all over the world to celebrate and engage on the global luxury field. And now I feel so much more connected. I don't know if you guys agree, but the box has been full of other neighborhoods, other places, and agents wanting to connect with us as a team. And if there's anything to share with you, the power of engagement was phenomenal. So team, do you guys agree with that? Give me some insight. I want to hear from
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. It was such an amazing event. And that was the best thing out of it was all the connections.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, I had Debbie call me from Salt Lake over the weekend, and she said, Suzanne, I need Lindsay's phone number. I have a referral for Lindsay. And I would say that, I would say each of us has really gained a listing or a connection or an under contract or a lead. And in the end, you know, twofold, that's built a relationship beyond our offices. But by the way, it just plain old pays for itself, that ability to have that box full of people. So I'm super excited for that. And just feel like I have a new family inside my family, people that I'm connecting with and wanting to really support in this endeavor. So I thought today we were lucky enough to be part of 7 or 8 different panels. And I really wanted the group to come to the table and share a little bit about some of their favorite panels, and wanted to guide that conversation a little bit so that maybe you as an agent can understand the impact of the global luxury sphere in our company and within Coldwell Banker worldwide, which is really what it is. When I get to meet people from France and Spain and Dubai and all over the United States, all of a sudden it feels like there's this link to a much bigger picture, and that's the power of what I bring to my customers and my clients and to my agents in lots of ways. So Lindsay, I think you are my first person this morning with some feedback about the impact of global luxury and the social.
Can I just say one thing? So
Yes.
So of everybody on this panel, right, as I think about, like, as we were preparing, and by the way, Suzanne, you did an incredible job of sort of getting together a group of people from our organization. From a numbers perspective, there was no company that was better represented than Distinctive Properties, and I want to applaud everybody that went. I also want to applaud our leader who organized that whole thing and made it happen. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It brought me lots of joy, and it continues to bring me joy. So Lindsay,
Good. But of all of the people, that were trying to figure out whether or not they were going to go or not, Lindsay was the one that was like, I don't know. So I'm kind of excited to hear about Lindsay.
I was so nervous, even walking in. But immediately when I walked in, I saw Manon, and she's from the Truckee area. I think we all met her. She was awesome. You know, we're friends now forever. I've got a place to stay when I go and visit there. So for me, it was the people. Like, I feel like we have our Distinctive family, but now I have 400 business partners that I can lean on. A lot of them are in target markets for me. They're across the world. But it is fun to see the communication coming back and forth between these 400 people. And I know I can reach out to anybody if I need any ideas or somebody to lean on, but also now I'm 400 people's new resource for Southwest Colorado. So that was huge for me.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be.
It wasn't scary as you thought. Well, and I think I don't know what you guys thought, but I also felt like the brand became really intimate, like it was family. And I think it didn't matter what the volume was of an agent, you know, $100 million producer or a $10 million producer, you had the ability to like cross communicate with anybody. And I think that's what I saw happening with you as individuals. A lot of cross connection in all kinds of places where it matters. And a lot of you have now connections with some of the top producers in the company who want to do business with you. And I think that's what matters. So Lizzie, you attended the social class, and I think the social sphere class or group, and I think there's some interesting things. What I hear is, or found out, is that LinkedIn is actually the #1 resource for global luxury. So
Yes.
tell me what you kind of learned and what your takeaways were.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to learn, maybe this has been out there for a while, but LinkedIn is the #1 platform to be on in this luxury sphere. 4 out of 10 users are millionaires. They did recommend doing their professional subscription. I think it's $30 a month. That enables you to create kind of this professional profile. They said, don't get cutesy with it, right? We don't sell dreams, we sell houses. So be clear and concise, name yourself, your brand, your area of expertise, your region, and your wins. The SEO conversion for LinkedIn is huge too. So those newsletters that you're putting out is going to pop up on searches online and help you be kind of the luxury search in the region with that SEO content. They also talked about blogs, that it's a time commitment, but if you do one a month, it's worthwhile. It kind of shows you as that industry expert, and not to use ghostwriters, to make sure that it's coming from your voice. People want to hear from you. So I thought that was very interesting. But if you're going to focus on one thing, it's that LinkedIn platform, if that's all you have time for.
And who on the team, anybody want to pick up the Instagram as being
Yeah,
number 2?
I'll pick it up. Yeah, I'll grab it. Yeah, no, Lindsay, that was really fascinating to me with that whole LinkedIn deal. Makes perfect sense, right? But when we get so tied into, oh, it's lifestyle and we got to be on Facebook because that's the boomers, but yes, and the most target rich environment being LinkedIn makes perfect sense. On the Instagram front, that was very interesting to me. So Instagram is essentially a visual representation of who you are and what you represent. And so what I pulled from that, #1 is you are your brand. The Nick Saban quote, you got to trust the name on the back of your jersey, or you have to believe in the name on the back of your jersey, and you have to trust the name on the front. We were all there. That's a very elite group of human beings. And so they were all hard chargers. I thought was really interesting was that they all sort of had a representation of who they were. They dressed the way they felt powerful. And I think that's where Instagram really looks. The photos, similarity in filters, similarity in pattern, tagging the right brands, alignment of the brands that mean something to you. So if you're in a flashy market and it's all about Rolls Royce and Gucci, then like you are wearing that, you're tagging that. The other thing that I thought was really fascinating is attending these events. Instagram was on fire with photos and videos of other people where the person posting it on their account was tagging those people and calling attention to those people, which really turned into wildfire from an engagement standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So really I felt like some new aligning on social media if you are a global luxury agent, to really focus on the difference of being LinkedIn 1 and the others 2. So Debbie, you're so quiet down there in the far corner. Debbie comes to us from Grand Junction. Super glad to have her. And
Thank you. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Absolutely love how she's stepping out. She's come up with some incredible marketing tools already. She was super pushy about wanting to go to this event. And
Sorry.
I'm good. I'm really good. I love the energy. So she is working hard to maintain her level of where she needs to be. But Debbie, you attended a conversation about how to globalize your business within the luxury world. Tell us a little bit about what you picked up. What kind of tips?
So first of all, yes, I'm new to the global luxury, but I didn't feel like I was new. Everybody was welcoming, and all the emails that I've received this week and since I've been back, it's been so nice to just feel like I have friends. I mean, not globally, but Lindsay and I are going to put a deal together. I wouldn't have known her had I not gone to that conference, had I not engaged with her. And now I'm more likely to send business to someone that I've met, someone that I know, and those people are all out there waiting for us to work with them. So not just within the United States, but globally. And I have a global luxury listing this afternoon, and I think that will give me a leg up to say, I'm not only listing your property on the MLS and all the other sites it goes to, but we're reaching 40 countries and we're reaching thousands of agents throughout this community that I know. And I trust them to send you business. So that's basically what I picked up with that. I've met these people from France. I mean, how exciting was that? It just makes the world so much smaller. And it's right here at our fingertips for us to use. So I was just really excited to have that.
That's awesome. Super excited to hear about your just feeling like you're more connected. And especially coming from Grand Junction, you think, well, I'm not a perfect global luxury market, but by the way, you're kicking butt finding it. Like you are looking for it in that market. And that's what I really love, is that you're going to start to represent something at a higher level within your market that matters to you. So if you really want to know someone who's trying to work on it very diligently, she's definitely that person. So, hey, Tasha, you're around. Tasha comes to us from Bozeman. We're so glad to have her with us on our team. And I will tell you, that woman knows how to party. I don't even know what to tell you. She danced on the floor. She sunk into the pool. She took advantage of everything luxury at this incredible hotel that we stayed at. So I was super excited to see you were excited about being there. But you took a course that was about the design and technology of kind of luxury living and what that means and how you should see that. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Just because, we all know that technology moves really quickly, and just talking about trying to keep the luxury world also simple, because people are working on, the built-in like chargers in your countertops. We were seeing that for a while, and just listening to that panel, they're like, yeah, that's out now, because now we're seeing USB-Cs. And so this is all phased out. So now people are having to order brand new countertops all of a sudden again. And so it was just super interesting to listen to what these designers had to say and how to make luxury more simple. And so just being able to apply that, especially because we're working with a builder in Big Sky, being able to bring that back to him and say, this is what we can do to make this luxury, but also beautiful and simple and accessible for all of our people who are going to be wanting these homes in Big Sky. And so talking about how the technology has evolved there was a company called Pinky Doors, and they are iron doors. And just talking about their technology and how they've been able to make this more efficient for their clients, and how to use these doors, these glass doors, and they have this iron work done, and being able to use that for smaller spaces, but to close off like a dining room, and then to make it really luxurious. And it just was really, for me, it just was super interesting to hear how these individuals are using not only this changing technology all the time to make their work more efficient. And Pinky Doors is a family-owned company that has been around since the 70s. And so just seeing how they've been able to move their business and keep in this luxury world out there in California and keep changing with the times so that they can stay competitive, even as a smaller operation. And so I just thought that was really wonderful to hear from. And the other two were designers. So they are obviously immersed in this world 24/7 of being on top of everything that is changing. So I just took it all in, and I started following them on Instagram so that I can bring more of that to my customers here. And And so, yeah, it was definitely important for me to keep hearing why we need to constantly be looking at the technology that's changing so that we can bring, because it's not, even though I don't think of technology as being a part of our world every day necessarily, besides like phones and stuff, it was so important for me to realize like what that brings to the table for our luxury clients.
Well, you know,
Not in the forefront of our brains for them.
the fact that you were able to even connect with people like that, especially in the market that you're in, you know, sometimes you feel like you're really far away, but Big Sky is very powerful to the consumer that's living in other places. So it was like you even brought something back to your builder and your development connections. And so, you know, you're becoming, as we always talk, you're becoming the expert at the moment in sharing the information with your clients. And I think for you to be motivated by that allows you to raise your bar and become an even better agent in the process of doing that. So really nice stuff out there. Hey, Debbie, you ended up getting really excited about understanding the global markets, the Caribbean, and some of that experience in Costa Rica. I knew we talked about it before you even got into the session, but tell me what your takeaway was from understanding the global purchaser.
It's so different, and we don't know it. I don't know the real estate in the Caribbean, or I don't know the real estate in Costa Rica or in Hawaii or in Mexico, but they do. Right. And that's what stuck out to me the most. They are the experts there. Use them. They are part of our team. They're our helpers. They're there to help us and to help us understand what the time zone is, what the cultures are. I mean, you don't show the bottom of your shoes in some cultures because it's rude. You hand a card to someone from Japan with both hands. There are just things we don't know. So to have an expert there that you trust and you've met and you've talked to help you work through those things, that was just really awesome. That's available to us. I mean, that I don't think we realize how important that is. They're right there. I could call any one of those three men that were on the panel right now, and they'd say, "Oh my gosh, yeah, let me help you." And right. They understand the market where we don't. So use that. Use that.
It's just so great. You become so much more educated and connected. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Jennifer, talk to me about. Yeah, Lindsay
will pay you 15% too. They have a 15% fee, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Commission.
Yeah, and that's not a referral fee. That's their commission, y'all. That's like, you're not 6%, 15%.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, another thing they said was a lot of people that sell in those areas aren't licensed. Mm-hmm. So you need to have someone that is licensed, that knows what they're doing, that knows how to run that whole transaction and get you paid and help you with your clients. So yeah, you need an expert.
Nice. Hey, Jen, talk to us about the Bitcoin thing. You got super excited about Bitcoin and the future of it. You were like jumping up and down. And I think you even said that you had a property that might be bought with Bitcoin. So what's going on with that?
I do. And that was a result of going to blockchain. And I think it's coming, and I wanted to understand it more. So that session was worth the entire conference, hands down. So Danielle Garofalo taught that. And boy, was she so generous. So I happen to be doing a side project where I'm minting an NFT. So I really wanted to go and find out more, but it's coming and it's going to be applied to real estate. She's predicting in the next, 18 to 24 months. So after the conference, I have a $5 million referral in Malibu. I ran over there, had a discussion with the listing agent and our client. And in 2 minutes, they said, absolutely, I will trade this house for Ethereum. And that's how quickly it happened. I mean, I was there for 3 hours discussing the property, but it took 2 minutes to make the decision to put that on the MLS. And now hopefully we'd get a little bump in the New York Times or something, but that's how savvy, these high net worth clients are in the Bitcoin blockchain arena. And I think the biggest takeaway I got is, she started off by saying, people had to get comfortable with fax machines. People had to get comfortable with, Wi-Fi and internet and Web 1 and Web 2 and now Web 3. She said, it's coming, and I truly do believe that it's coming. And what it's going to do is, gosh, it was such a good session, and I did record it. I'd love to share it with everyone, because even listening to it again a second time, I got so much more out of it. But basically, she said the real estate transactions haven't changed since 1890. So that is huge. It's a huge opportunity to disrupt the industry. And she said, think about this. You log in and you own none of it. So every time you're logging into stuff all day long and you're giving away your data. And she said that is worth more than oil. So blockchain is going to allow you, and I'm still learning every single day. Blockchain is going to allow you to control your data and control who owns it and who sees it. So especially in the title industry, and she apologized to all the people that were in title in the audience, because what it's going to do is it's going to prevent fraud, remove intermediaries. It's going to make it faster, better, and cheaper, and 100% secure. It was a fascinating session. So I was really happy to go.
Well, and
I'm cracking up because half the people are like, $5 million referral. What's the referral fee on that? And wait a minute, did she just say that she's using Bitcoin as a marketing ploy to get on into the Wall Street Journal? The answer is yes. And obviously Jennifer's got a boob brain. So she's all about this stuff. So you could literally spend hours talking to Jennifer. I really enjoyed getting to know all of you really at that conference.
Well, and
what's a boob brain?
Boob. You have to have little kids, and you have to watch Home about 4 million times to understand. But he has a shusher, and they have boob brains. So
I have to look it up. I just have my dog, so I'm fascinated likewise. Yeah. So yeah. Well, it's coming, and I'm talking to a lot of people in Silicon Valley, and that's the thing about the conference. I cannot even believe how generous Danielle Garofalo was. After the session, I didn't have to ask. She came up to me and said, I'd like to offer you a session with my business partner. It was Jason Haber, and they own metaverseinstitute.io. So they've offered Coldwell Banker, and I'm not pitching her. I was naturally drawn to it. They're going to offer us, Coldwell Banker agents, a very special price to take their education, and it's going to explain blockchain. It's going to explain NFT and why this is so important to real estate. And so I'm going to take it. I learned so much in this session, and wow, I kind of don't even know where to start. I think we should just post the video and have everyone watch it, because she delivers the information so beautifully and so non-complicated in a way you can understand it.
Well, Jen, and I just appreciate your going there and doing that for us, because again, I knew before you went to the session that you had kind of a affirmation that you look forward in your business, and that's the future of what's coming. So if anybody wants to talk to Jen more about it, you just call her up. We're all inside CBIQ. You can come find any one of us. So Tasha, for you, I remember at the beginning of the session, you were really obsessed with, I want to know more about building a team in this sphere of global luxury. Mm-hmm. And you then attended the course that talked a little bit about how to build a team. And team building is pretty generic, but I think what was specific to global luxury and the talent pool, and did you pick up any tips from that?
I think the biggest thing that I kept hearing over and over again is, if you want to build a team, get an assistant who does the things that you are not good at. Start with that. And then just allow your team to start growing organically. And that was both Don McKenna and Jill Biggs both shared that with me, was that, yes, both of our teams grew organically, but then step number one was getting that assistant. Get that assistant who does better than what you do, even if you think you can't afford it, because guess what? That's going to push you to afford it.
Next level.
And so it was that was really important to me. Mm-hmm. And so just taking that into consideration, and then seeing how each of them have structured the teams is really interesting, because it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And Jill Biggs, she was like, my radius is like a half mile in New York. It's not, I don't really work in a big area. And then Don McKenna's like, I have agents who focus in certain areas. Like, They
Mhm.
live in that area. That's what they take care of. My neighborhood is where I take care of. I am the go-to person. And so it was just interesting to see how they all structure their teams. But ultimately it came down to hire the person who knows the marketing, hire the person who does the social media, hire the person who's good at organization and keeping everything going in the office. Like, make sure you have that person, because that's how your team's going to succeed. And that was absolutely, I just came back to my team member, Nicole, and I was like, we got to get an assistant. We got to figure this out, because we need to figure this out so that we can take this to the next level, or else
You can
like
grow, right?
this
You can
is
step out,
this is
right?
insane. We're spending our time doing things that somebody else can be doing, and we can be
Oh,
out there
that's
generating more
great.
business.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So I think the two, kind of last things that stand out, the last one I'll leave at the end for referrals, because I think we as a group understand that now. But Lindsay, you spent some time talking through the whole sphere of what it's, as the market shifts, right? What do global luxury agents need to focus on the most? And kind of what did you walk away with? Because knowing that the market's always changing, and now more so than in years past, it's very rapid, constantly adjusting. What were your takeaways from that session?
I feel like everybody basically said, lean into it, don't panic, be the expert. You're creating the narrative, so be careful what you're creating. I put kind of together my top 5 list of what I heard that I'm going to use. Number 1 or number 5 was don't list everything. Be careful with what you're taking on. There may be unreasonable sellers with a price point that they want. They may not be willing to stage it, be cleaned up, and they're not willing to do it. If it's not perfect in this market, it's not going to sell. So you need to move on if you can't come to a conclusion with those clients, those sellers. Number 4 was be unique. There was so much emphasis on our brand too, Coldwell Banker. We decided on it for a reason. Our clients will too. We've withstood the test of time. The wealth report came up by a lot of panelists. To read that, get inspired, use it to your benefit. Number 3, this is what Tasha was saying, right? Keep in mind your hourly rate always. What are you best at doing? And sub out the rest of it. Get that assistant, get that marketing team, lean on, the transaction coordinators that we have, etc. Be efficient with your time and keep that hourly rate in mind. Number 2 was always be honest, always be prepared, and always be consistent. And then number 1 was to really service your luxury buyers, beat them to the new listings, show them new areas that may be of interest, let them know what's going on in the area. They're going to be impressed with you. They're going to refer their friends and family. And lastly, just overall, everybody kept saying, get back to the basics. Use your systems, make the phone calls, love on your people.
Nice.
One thing to follow up with Lindsay when she was saying that, like, to stand out. I got a really nice opportunity to talk to Frank. I always mess up his last name, Isoli, I believe, over in New Jersey. Such a great individual. But he, I said, what's the number 1 thing that you do for your clients? And he goes, especially for luxury listings, whether I have the listing or not, after I get done meeting them, I send them flowers from a really nice place. And he goes, that has always served me really well, because then they know that I appreciate the time that they gave me. And so I was just like, that's a really great way to just stand out. So find whatever that looks like for you, because everybody in every market is going to have something different that's going to apply to them for their luxury clients. So whatever that is, find that one thing that after you meet with them, whether you have the listing or not, you send a thank you, a handwritten note and a nice little, bouquet of flowers or a bottle of wine or whatever it is, whatever you picked up on that if they like whiskey, whatever, local whiskey, something like that.
Awesome. Awesome. So I think finally, and probably the biggest gift that we walked away was just networking and referrals. Like, I think I'm just going to let the team open up and just talk about it, because that benefit is just gigantic, just even for you or for myself, is getting to see other people's marketing ideas and what they're doing and how they're communicating and what I should do to improve or what you should do to improve. So Todd, take it away. What's your thoughts on the networking piece?
Yeah, so it was there was so much incredible information there, and as luxury agents, but this really isn't just a global luxury comment that I'm going to make. So we all know that we have to be the knowledge brokers. What I saw there was that, well, two things. I was reminded back when I was working with the Tom Ferry organization, there was a stat that we had come across, and it was that the top 10% of all earners within the real estate space attended functions, right? They were engaged. It was a learning, it was an education, it was a connecting piece. And I always thought that was really interesting, because that's, if you want success, if I want success, I'll typically look to somebody else and say, well, what are they doing? And I'll just model them. That's just how I've always been. I didn't feel like I needed to go read a book. I just watch. Well, that was a perfect sort of segue in for me going to the engage piece. But like that goes for Gen Blue, that goes for any summits, that goes for all of them, right? The top of the top will show up, the rest won't. It's just kind of how it works. So I thought that was really interesting. The other piece that I saw was the same thing that we were talking about on the residential side is also on the commercial side. And it was never more apparent to me in the global luxury space that people who were buying commercial buildings were global luxury residential clients, and global luxury residential clients are buying commercial real estate. And so the real easy low-hanging fruit is for anybody who is in the commercial space to make sure that you have a list of your global luxury real estate agents in the organization, and vice versa. And y'all need to be engaged, no pun intended, right? And then I just wrote down, like, mine were 7 steps to having a connection strategy. Because like we talk about how, oh, market's local. I hate to break it to everybody, but the world is no longer local. Yes, you have to be a connected person in your local world, but your clients aren't coming from local. Even if you're in, Twin Falls, they're not coming from your zip code. They're coming from outside the zip code, and they expect that you have your finger on the pulse. So going to these events and getting out of the bubble really, really makes sense. So number 1 on my list was show up. By the way, this is your networking and connection strategy, right? Number 1, show up to events. Number 2, have a strategy behind what you're going to do, i.e. I'm from Vail. I know that my main feeder markets are Denver, Dallas, Chicago, New York. Then I'm going to make sure that my strategy is to go connect with as many of those people as possible. There are apps and ways to connect and social media that are always going on to help drive those connections at those events. So that would be an example of a strategy. This one was my huge one. Number 3 is you are your brand. I'm going to say that again. You are your brand. All right. The guy Dano from Hawaii was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Shocker. Okay. Christoph from Beverly Hills was wearing a $5,000 suit. Okay. Tim Smith from Newport Beach, right? Beachy community, but very high end, was dressed super cash, but very high end brands. Okay. We think about these. I've got my Gucci belt on, right? Like, what do you stand for? How are you representing yourself? You are your brand. So you got to look like it. You got to act like it. And then you have to have proper materials. Those of you that went saw that I had printed out a product rather than a business card. I wanted to be able to hand something out. This was a representation of my brand. Right. So anyway, that was good. Number 4 was build the list. Very intentionally building the list. What I thought was fantastic was that the Global Luxury actually gave us a list. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Michael, because we didn't have to do the work, but the connections that were made, building that list, and then connecting the follow-up on that, I'm going to talk about in one second. Number 5 was contribute to these events. Do not be bashful in the future. Gen Blue's coming up. I would highly recommend that you reach out to Tracy, you reach out to David Moraine, you reach out to anybody that you can get your hands on, Michael Altnew, and say, hey, I would be interested in being on a panel and contributing and talking a little bit about my space. I think all you need to do is talk to Jill or talk to Don McKenna, and they'll tell you they got more connections as a result of that. It was like crazy. Yep. Number 6 on my list was follow-up. We have been blessed because of going to Engage to have all received different communications from people that we met there. Holy smokes. I mean, you want to talk about a strategy and executing on that strategy, and each person representing their brand. It wasn't hard. I think the best one I've seen so far is somebody shot a video with their wife. They attended. It was very well done. And I mean, hey, raising the bar. It seems like every day somebody raises the bar, but it was amazing. And then of course, the last number 7 was the consistency. And I heard somebody who was talking about how they manage their CRM. They have 3 buckets, right? They've got people who are their past client sphere of influence. And those people get like, this is their 44 touch plan, if you will. Then they have these people that maybe they don't have that kind of relationship with. And those people get something fewer. Maybe it's a 20 touch plan. And then they have something that's specifically for agents that they have met, because the agents don't want a Merry Christmas card. What they do want is they want to see your market data. And so they had 3 different buckets, and developing that consistency is that's the magic. We all know that, but I mean, you have a marketing department and a technology stack that allows you to be consistent without you having to be consistent. So there's my top 7.
Awesome. That's great. That's super, super great. Well, and I think as we walk away from this, I hope you guys will all agree, unless someone else wants to share, that really it's kind of these interconnections, right? Like this is the family connection. Like I feel so blessed that I have each of you who are looking to raise your bar and what you're doing and being able to support you and put that together. And I will tell you, that's the gift that I get back, which is, wow, how do I help our company? And how do I help individuals that are wanting to seek the next level grow? And then I know each of you has a bucket of cards, like you all walked away with a stack of these really intimate relationships that you built. And this business is relationship building. And ultimately, it's why we originally first came here. And now you're just doing it at a much higher level and having a super comfort zone with it by knowing people that are playing in that sphere. And they're also probably motivating us to do a little bit more and a little bit better at what we do as we go out there with our lifestyle brand, because we really are a lifestyle brand. We live in lifestyle communities. We don't live in big urban environments. This is where we live, and people knowing and sharing what our life is like makes a lot of people super jealous. And so it's like, that's what I feel like we need to do, is share Big Sky and share Durango and share Grand Junction and share, even where Jennifer is up at the lake, she's up at Flathead Lake in Montana. Like there's some incredible stuff going on, right? So share what you have, build on that. And I'm so happy that you guys came and just shared some of your stuff, and super happy you're here. And let's continue on to developing this great business with each and every one of you.
Yeah, it was amazing. And the greatness is that we have another event coming, right?
I know, it's awesome.
And so I know we had the last the virtual global luxury certification was this week. For those of you that attended, congratulations. That is really exciting for you. You may not even realize how exciting that is for you, but I'm here to tell you that is very exciting for you. There will be another global luxury certification that'll be coming in the days ahead of Gen Blue. Gen Blue is coming. We so far, I think, have got about 20, 25 people that are going. Just so you know, full transparency, if we don't have 50 or more people there, I'm going to feel like we lost. So this, especially coming out of Engage, the Gen Blue is the absolute, like, that's the biggie, right? Engage was sort of a sub committee, if you will. This one is the big one where we really get to connect with a boatload of people. Obviously, it's in my backyard, so there's some additional benefit to going. So make sure that you get signed up. I think the prices go up here in the next week or two. So make sure you get signed up for that, and we're monitoring that each and every day. Again, I just want to take a minute. I don't want to steal your thunder, Suzanne, so I'll let you close it out. So before the crescendo, I do again want to recognize you and the efforts that you put forth in organizing this. I don't think any of our experiences would have been half of what they were had it not been for you organizing that. And I just want to honor you. That was just so good.
Thank you. Hey, Tosh, what do you got? You got something.
One more
down there.
thing. I was just gonna say, and it's never too early to start reaching out to people from Engage. I've already been reaching out to the agents who I've connected with, saying, "Are you going to Gen Blue? Where are you staying at? When can we meet up?" That kind of stuff. Kids just showed up. But just making sure that you put everybody out there again. You know, it's making sure I line up these meetings with these really critical people in a few months, and making sure I'm staying in the front of their brain. So like I've already been reaching out to everybody. So just remember that. So if you are going to engage, start getting that lineup ready and start making those connections happen and setting up those times with everybody.
Tosh,
Brilliant.
I'm sorry, Tosh, you'll end up in the pool again. It's Phoenix. I don't know what to tell you, right? That would be awesome. If you want to party with this woman, she's got it down pat. She was still at the pool when all of you left, and I stayed behind. And I don't know if she even noticed. I went up to the deck and I'm like, there's nobody here, but Tasha's out here sunning herself and taking a swim before she went back to my
SoCal lunch.
Great.
Yeah, I did.
No,
Yeah.
it's
And that was
fabulous.
great.
It's really good. So, and remember, if you are wondering, you know, there's always this like, I can't afford to go, I can't make it happen, I can't invest in it. I will tell you 100% for sure that you will have a lead that will pay for your trip. So get engaged, figure out how to be there for Gen Blue, and get something else on your plate before the end of the year to build connection. This is the best thing about Coldwell Banker, seriously. Hands down. So I just want to say thank you to my friends and my team out there. You guys have a great day, and I look forward to everything that you bring to your business.